What's up, y'all? My name is Monster, and today I'm going to show you what I believe to be is the fastest Zane in Borderlands 3. I'm not going to lie to y'all, you can get going so quickly with this build that I actually struggle to move around the map at times. So without any further ado, let's get right into the build. So first thing we're going to talk about is the weapons that you want for this build. The weapons are actually really up to your preference. A couple that I would recommend using for damage are the Cutsman and the Redistributor. Those are some of the best guns overall for Zane. The only gun that I would really recommend you have in one of your weapon slots at all times is the Crater EMP5. Now, what the Crater EMP5 does is, while holding it, you get a movement speed bonus. It's about 10 to 15%, somewhere in there. And the reason why I recommend you having it is because when you're getting to point A to point B, if you swap this on and hold it, it's just an additional movement speed bonus that you get. It does alright damage, but damage really isn't the strong suit of it. Next thing we're going to talk about is the class mod that you want. The class mod that you want is the Infiltrator class mod. What the Infiltrator class mod does is give you increased weapon damage and movement speed, and the lower your shields are, the greater the bonus. Uh, the skill bonuses that you want to get are the Violent Momentum skill and the Supersonic Man skill, with preference going to Supersonic Man. You want to get as much Supersonic Man as you can. If you don't know, it's the orange rabbit one that you can see right there. Um, I actually don't have the perfect class mod, and this class build is actually still amazing. So if you really want to perfect this build, get the +5 Supersonic Man. We're going to pair this Infiltrator class mod with the Rough Rider Shield. Now, if you don't know what the Rough Rider Shield does, is it basically replaces your shield capacity with additional health. So your capacity is always at 0, and this synergizes perfectly with the Infiltrator class mod, basically giving you the maximum bonuses at all time. The maximum bonuses are about 16% additional weapon damage and about 13% movement speed. So with the Rough Rider on, you will always have those bonuses at all times. The one thing I would recommend with the Rough Rider is get the Anointment while Sentinel is active. Movement speed is increased by 15%. With this build, we are using the Sentinel, and that is just an additional 15% movement speed on top of everything else. Your grenade doesn't matter so much. I like using the Piss grenade because the Sentinel will drop it. And if you're going to get a anointment on a nade for Zane, you want to get on grenade thrown. Weapon grenade and action skill damage are increased by 25% for 6 seconds. It's just the best anointment for grenades, but it's not particularly related to this class. And then next, what you want to get is the Snowdrift Victory Rust. What this does is, I'm sure you've seen it before, slide speed is increased by 102%. So whenever you slide, you're just going incredibly fast. On mine, I have also plus 8% movement speed, 40% magazine size, and 30% real shield recharge rate. That last one obviously doesn't apply because we're using the Rough Rider. But the 8% movement speed and the 40% magazine size are really nice to have. And that's pretty much it in these slots. Next up, we're going to go to the skill tree. Okay, so the first skill tree that we're going to talk about is the Sentinel skill tree. The first skill that you want to spec into is Violent Speed. What Violent Speed does is after killing an enemy, Zane gains increased movement speed for a few seconds. This effect stacks twice. So what that means is you get additional movement speed for every kill you get, or at least the first two. And with this maxed out and stacked, you get about 50% extra movement speed for 15 seconds. This is really nice to have and actually one of the core perks for this build. The next thing you want to spec into is Violent Momentum. What Violent Momentum does is give you extra damage for however fast you're going. With 7 out of 5, you get extra 28% damage at default walk speed. And we're going to be pretty much moving faster than that at all times. So I actually don't know how much it gives you, but it's a good perk to have. Then we're going to put 1 into Salvation. Basically, killing an enemy gives you lifesteal for a few seconds. It's to help you stay alive. Drone Delivery gives Sentinel a chance to drop grenades for you. That's where the piss grenade comes in, or whatever grenade you want, honestly. It just is an additional damage thing that you don't actually have to worry about. So it's nice to have. Then we're going to put 3 into Cool Hand. This gives you additional reload speed, um, and that is actually it. So yeah, just reload speed. It's nice to have. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but you got to put points somewhere, and I like them there. Next thing you have is Death Follows Close. This gives increased duration to kill skills, and it's a nice perk to have. You get an extra 25% effectiveness to all kill skills and an additional 7 seconds. Next, we put 5 into Playing Dirty. You actually don't have to put these here, but I like them, especially for using guns like the Cutsman. You just get an additional bonus for the first 5 rounds of your gun, and if they get to proc, you're doing a actual incredible amount of extra damage. So just put them there. If you don't want them there, you can put them in Violent Violence. This increases your fire rate after killing an enemy, and it's 7% right now. I think it can get to like 20% or something like that. I'm not sure because I'm not spec'd into it, but it can get. It's a nice bonus to have for sure. Another thing that you're gonna want is Good Misfortune. Spec'd into that, 3 out of 3 in that. What this does is killing an enemy increases Zane's action skill duration. It's really nice to have just to keep your action skills up, and it's one of the main things that comes into play with this build. Is having your action skills up, and this is just a bonus to them. Now, one of the big things you want to spec into with this build is the Seeing Red skill. What this does is when you deploy an action skill, it automatically activates all of Zane's kill skills. And one of the things about this is activating only one kill skill activates 1 stack of them, and a lot of these skills can stack twice, like this one, for example, Violent Speed. But we're going to be running Barrier and Sentinel with this build. So when throwing both of them out, you get all your action skills to stack, and it's really nice to have immediately, especially because we're not running the what is it called? What is it all? Let me find it real quick. The Seeing Dead class mod. Um, oh, I just realized those have very similar names. Oh, makes sense. Okay, but yeah, since we're not running the Seeing Dead class mod, the Seeing Red basically takes its place, and it is nice to have. Next up, we are talking about the Digiclone tree. The first thing you want to put 5 into is Synchronicity. What this does is just give you additional gun damage for each action skill that's put out. It's a nice gun damage buff, and it's my favorite thing to spec into in this first tree. We end up actually specking into everything, but if there's only one to get to the next one, it'd be this. Premonitious, you get additional 25% magazine size. This is just extra points that you need to put somewhere, and bigger magazine size, more DPS. Just like it. Another thing that if you don't want to put them in that, you can put them in Adrenaline, which basically speeds up your action cooldown. But we're not using that for this build. The next thing you want is Borrowed Time. Zane gains increased action skill duration for every action skill. And the reason actually why we're not spec'd into Adrenaline is because we're spec'd into this. Instead of trying to fight to keep your action skill alive, I just like to keep everything up for as long as possible, and you get additional 30% with 5 out of 5 in this, and I just enjoy that perk. The next one we're going to go with is Donnybrook. This is where a lot of our damage is going to come in. With 5 out of 5 in this, whenever we kill an enemy, we get increased gun damage and health regeneration. So we get an additional 19% gun damage and 3% or 3.1% of missing health regen per second. This is really nice to have, especially because of the CN Red skill. This is activated immediately, and it's like it's another one of the stacked twice. So we actually get about 40% gun damage and 6% missing health regen. It's one of Zane's best perks. You'll see it in a lot of builds, and we're using it here. But one of the reasons why we have so much in these is to get down to Supersonic Man. This is the key, in my opinion, skill for this build. What this does is whenever one or more of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased movement speed for each action skill. And with 5 out of 3 in this, because of our Infiltrator class mod, we get 20% movement speed per active action skill. So as soon as we throw out the Sentinel and the Barrier, we will immediately get 40% speed just from this. And this is what I was saying earlier on the Infiltrator class mod right here. If you can get more into the Supersonic Man, you can get up to +5, I want to say. Then you will just be getting more and more. You could probably get over 50% speed with both skills out. And then right here, it's just a class mod point. It's just a chance to ignore bullets. It's nice to have, but it's definitely not necessary. It's just what my class mod gives me. And that's pretty much it for our trees. We don't have anything in the shield. And if I could squeeze some of these things like the 3 here and there to get into this, I would, so that we could add things to our shield. I know that's going to be one of the complaints about this is, oh, you have so much in your clone, why don't you use that over the shield? And that's definitely something that you could do. The reason why I don't personally is the clone just doesn't really synergize with going like super fast and skating by everything. And the shield just gives you extra protection. And one of the reasons why I like running it is since we are running the Rough Rider class mod, the barrier basically acts as our shield. Now we will be getting a lot of health regen to our health, but I just like running the barrier. Plus you get an additional amped damage, 25% going through it, and in my opinion, it's just better than the clone for this build. If we could take this tree and all the perks that were in it, and basically flip the clone and the barrier, that would be a dream. But this is what we have for Zane, and this is what we got to run with. So if you really want to, you can run the clone. I just personally find it counterintuitive to this build. So there you have the F1 Zane build. I really do think that this is the fastest Zane in the game. I've looked at everything and I can't really find anything else that would make this faster. Of course, if you believe that you have something that would make this faster, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, be sure to hit like. If you want to make sure that you never miss any of my videos, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you ever want to catch me live, feel free to follow me on Twitch. The link is in the description below. That's all I got for y'all today, and I hope to see you in the next one.